My guests are John Linnell and John Flansburgh. Since 1982, the innovative musical duo have been better known as They Might Be Giants. Their latest CD is called The Else. Your fan base keeps growing and growing. Your albums have sold in the millions. John Flansburgh, you once said you think that you've got a nice kind of fame.
Yeah, I mean, we've been around for 25 years, so obviously we have had sort of many different audiences over the years. The people who come to our shows are general concert-going age, so they're in their early 20s. But it's very hard to make any assumptions about our audience at this point, and people like us for very different reasons. And so I think we feel kind of free to embrace whatever parts or supports our own point of view about what's worth pursuing. But I mean, there are definitely people in our audience who think of us as a good time band, and there are people who think of us as sort of this eccentric kind of art project. And I mean, it's interesting to be in a band that's so wide open in that sense.
Yeah, now you're getting the. I grew up listening to you.
Well, right, sure. Exactly. We have a whole range of ages, and it's compounded by the fact that we do make records for kids. So yeah, we have parents who bring their kids, and kids who bring their parents, and as John said, everybody has a different perspective on it. Some people think of us as that comforting, familiar sound that they heard in the 80s, and some people just stuck the shovel in and dug us out.
You have a family concert planned, right?
We do family concerts periodically. We're actually trying to remind people that we do adult stuff because the kid stuff gets so much attention. It's such a man bites dog kind of press story to have an actual self-serious rock band doing kid stuff at all, and is really a peg that writers are really intrigued by.
So how old are the kids now?
The kids who come out to kid shows are always really young, which is it's kind of too bad. I think we would like to play for 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old kids because it would be interesting to see how they respond to certain things. But most of the time, it's young parents basically bringing their very young kids
who clearly are, some of whom are clearly not getting the subtleties.
Right. The term bored out of their minds comes to mind. But it's interesting, because there'll be a crowd of toddlers at sort of in a big pool in front of the stage, and then the parents in the back often. And we do a part of the show that is really for the enjoyment of the parents, but basically it's an audience participation part in the middle of the song Violin, where we have all the kids make this sound effect, which is actually the sound of the violins in Psycho. But little kids can do that very effectively, and of course they have no idea what Psycho is.
Right.
But the parents are just delighted to hear a crowd of 100 kids going,
right.
With their crazy high voices.
Imagining Janet Leigh being stabbed.
Yeah.
Aren't the kids saying, "Where are the Giants"?
No, but they do respond to the confetti cannon a little bit more than we wish they would. And we have a puppet. My wife actually has put together a puppet show in the middle of the kids' shows.
The nice thing about the kids is they don't really have an idea of what it is supposed to be. And I think in general that's been one of the unexpected pleasures for us of doing stuff for kids is that they don't have the context of rock music or stage shows. Generally they don't really know what it's supposed to be, so it can be anything, and I mean they're a little bit aloof as compared to adults, which makes us nervous. The kids don't mind talking to each other in the middle of a show.
Yeah.
Don't seem to think that's rude to the band.
It's changed a little bit over time. We actually, now that we have had some Children's albums out for a number of years, there's a bunch of kids who've grown up with us, and they respond, when they hear familiar songs, they get very, very excited. But, most people in the children's music world are kind of selling their personalities and they're entertainers, their faces on the cover, and it's very much about, Rafi is very much about Rafi or, whoever. It's kind of a package deal, like the image of the singer. And, we're kind of introducing a little bit more of the big 70s, faceless thing to our kids. I mean, we really just write music for kids. We don't present ourselves as, in that kind of Captain Kangaroo mode.
What about your own kids?
Well, I have a son, and he's a fan. He's actually in that age group that is mostly absent from our live shows, but he seems to be into it now, and I suspect he'll probably follow us up through his. I don't know. At some point, it'll seem uncool to him, but I don't know when that's going to happen.